This episode is brought to you by the Ghoulish Gallery, Movies for Days, Dewey Pod Monster, The Aardvark and Magic Moshi Do Red Dwarf, Video Tasties, Voices from the Mausoleum, You Gonna Eat That Crust, and Pop Culture Reflections, all members of the You Run Podcast Network, all available at yourunpodcast.com. Mark, for the first time ever, there is no joke this week, and literally no joke. I have no joke to make you laugh or anything at all.
Right. I don't trust you. What's going on?
Instead, I have this.
Hello, Mark. We meet again. I heard you were dreading this episode. What's the matter? Afraid of a little spider? Don't want to think about it silently descending from the ceiling, dangling above your head by its web, crawling down your neck undetected, its 8 legs scurrying across your face as you sleep, into your
this
mouth,
is nasty, man. This is real
ears,
nasty.
laying its eggs so you can incubate its young. Sleep tight, my friend. Don't let the spider bite.
Oh, God. I do not know why on earth I have agreed to do this episode. I really don't.
No, well, I think before we start the episode, there's just something else I need to do.
Drop kick.
I'm
the only
sorry.
spider I can get on with.
Yeah.
And before I forget,
I'll kill you if this is a joke.
You want to die tonight?
The You Run Podcast.
The You Run Podcast.
The You Run Podcast.
The You Run Podcast.
Why isn't it possible?
I can't say nothing. Or Candyman get me.
You choose the movies.
I had a heart on this morning when I woke up, Tina. Had your name written all over it.
You score them.
Nice fucking model!
You review them.
For that you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
My name is very fucking confused. What's your name?
Captain Howdy.
You don't want to go fooling around other folks' property.
In my goddamn soul. Where's a beer?
Because after all, this is not our show. This is your show.
Hello and welcome to the happiest I have been since the inception of the show, and my long-awaited revenge episode for the Halloween 4 fiasco back in 2022. That was 2 years ago.
I don't think this is the same at all. Making me watch Halloween 4 and making me watch this is completely on 2 different levels.
Is it though? I suffered, you suffer. It's kind of like fair.
No, there's this suffering and then there is traumatizing. This has been the worst experience of my life prepping for this.
I'd like.
I know
to
that
say
sounds ludicrous. I know it sounds ludicrous. Oh, scared of spiders. Oh, man up. No, listen, it's a genuine fear, and this has been horrible.
Yeah, and you've been messaging me, going, I need to take a break. I'm stopping. I need to take another break. I can't watch anymore.
Oh man, I've been putting it off for weeks and weeks and weeks watching this film, and I've only just finished it about 10 minutes before we came on to record the episode.
Yeah, and you're still a little bit shaky, which will make this episode highly entertaining. This is Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott.
My name is Mark.
And in truth, this is the first time we've recorded in a couple of weeks. So the last 2 episodes you had were pre-recorded, and we've had a bit of a break. So we may be a little rusty. However, I am full of lots of energy today.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, lots of energy. How are you anyway? How was your Christmas? How has the new year treated you?
Yeah, it's been good. I've had a nice bit of time off work. It's been pleasant. I've made the foolish mistake of doing January, so I'm not drinking at the moment. So watching you sup a beer is driving me mental at the moment.
So this probably won't help.
Not in the slightest, no. And it's I don't even know why I did it. It came up in conversation, and obviously I like a drink. I like a beer. I drink quite regularly on a weekend and stuff. And my wife was like, "Oh yeah, you should just not do it." And then she kind of made a joke as if to say, like, I couldn't do it. So me being me, like, of course I can do it. It's a few weeks. Of course I can do it. I'm 5 days in, man, and I'm losing my mind. And this is the first ever episode I think I've recorded where I've not been drinking a beer.
This is getting better and better. Anyway, we're a horror movie review show run and controlled by you, the listeners. You pick the movies, you score them, you review them, and we just give you an outlet to do that without the hassle of starting your own podcast. You get involved with the show by following us on social media. We're at You Run Podcast everywhere. If you want to follow Mark, he's Reviews from the Crypt and VHS from the Crypt on Instagram. You can also send us an email, yourunpodcast@gmail.com. Or if we really push your buttons and get you so fired up you need to get it out of your system, you can leave us a voicemail. And you can do that by leaving an audio message on any of the socials that let you do that. If there's a microphone icon in messages, you can do it. As we've not recorded for a couple of weeks, we haven't checked our voicemail. We have got a few. So here's the first one.
Hey guys, really enjoyed listening to this week's episode on Violent Night. Such a great film and glad to hear you both enjoyed it. The film that Mark was talking about, I'm sure he's probably Googled it by now, because if he's anything like me, you just wouldn't settle until you looked. But the Henry Cavill film he was mentioning was Night Hunter, and yes, it's very good. And I also wanted to say, I've also never seen A Christmas Story, and I turned off It's a Wonderful Life because I really didn't like it. Eek! And also just to jump in and say, Violent Night is not a horror film. It's an action film, just like Predator.
Excellent. It was a double jab. I probably could have swallowed the Violent Night comment, but the Predator, that hurt a lot. We've got another one. This one's quite angry.
I'm trying to listen to the Violent Night episode. I've not seen the movie, but I'm going to watch it, but I still listen anyways. And you guys, come on. Quit butchering these damn names. John Leguizamo. I don't understand. Y'all are triggering me. John Leguizamo. Why don't y'all just start Googling it first? And then, like, if you don't know how to pronounce a name, just, like, Google it and do, like, the voice thing. Okay, anyways, I'm going to finish listening. Bye! I'm trying...
John Leguini, it sounds exactly the same as what we said.
That's exactly it. We've cleared that up now. We've been corrected on our poorly researched episode. So we're going to try it now. So it is John Luigi. Linguini. It's not me, it's a Luigi. Anyway, we've got a great show lined up today. We're going to do a movie review, get your thoughts, a brand new game for this episode called I'm a Mark, Get Me Out of Here.
That sounds horrific. Absolutely horrific.
I'm so excited, and it's done in a way that it works really well for audio, but also if you're watching on YouTube, will be probably the funniest 10 minutes we've ever done as a segment of the show.
I hate you so much right now.
And if you are watching on YouTube, hit subscribe and comment on how fancy our new setup looks. Looks really swanky. I like it.
Spiffing.
Yes. This week has been a long time coming, and the movies failed to get on the show several times. So I had to turn to Mark's arch nemesis, Eric, from Instagram, and he requested it on the show. Mark still was not happy with this and said, well, you've not even seen the movie. So Eric, with his own money, went and bought the DVD or bought the Blu-ray, had it shipped to his house, and then sent a video to us of him watching this movie. So he has proof. And a few short months later, here we are. So stop crawling around the web. This is the place to swing around. This will be an episode with some real bite. If you're easily squeamish, then please proceed with caution, especially if you're watching on YouTube. And I definitely advise against sticking around if you suffer with any kind of arachnophobia.
The Jennings family has just moved to the small town of Canaima.
Oh, Ross, smell that air.
Oh, God.
In search of a simpler life.
Want to blow up a bullfrog? Okay.
It's the perfect place,
Goodbye crime, goodbye grime.
except for one pesky little problem.
Come with me and look at the web.
The web? I have a
Terrible fear of spiders. Come on, we live in the country now. It's time to work through this irrational, paralyzing terror.
It's not irrational.
Hollywood Pictures and Amblin Entertainment present Jeff Daniels
Honey, we're in the living room. We need you to kill a spider.
and John Goodman.
Dover McClintock, infestation management.
I thought it's just a spider.
Would anybody object if I tore this floor out?
I would.
False alarm, then lead on. There's no spider here.
Every so often in a little town somewhere, there is a health scare.
There's a rumor going around that some kind of spider might have killed Sam Metcalf.
Doubtful.
Spiders make convenient culprits.
There's no spider here.
I think one of your Venezuelan spiders hitched a ride here. There may be some spiders around here that are very dangerous.
Yeah, chill out.
Just run.
They spread out from a central nest in a web-like pattern and dominate the entire area. So when that happens, this town is dead.
Better uncork my private stock.
Rock and Hollywood Pictures and Amblin Entertainment present Arachnophobia. 8 legs, 2 fangs, and an attitude.
Perk up, Lloyd. If we find the spider that did this, you can arrest him.
Arachnophobia, a thrill-omedy.
I hate how light-hearted that trailer makes his film.
It really is a light-hearted trailer. And the best bit is now we do the trailers on YouTube. So we put in the trailer in and I can see Mark. Mark's reaction, he was scratching his neck. He was getting all uncomfortable. I'm taking far too much pleasure in this. The listeners score the movies. They've scored this a 4 out of 5. Google has scored this a 4 out of 5. And Letterboxd scored this a 3.2 out of 5. If you've not seen it before, a large killer spider from South America catches a trip to California. Well-deserved vacation for the poor spider. When he gets there, he's persecuted by a family of an all-star cast, including Jeff Daniels, John Goodman, Harley Jane Cusack, and the Julian Sands, who's sadly no longer with us. The question is, will our little spider friend make it through and survive this torment, or will all of Mark's mates snuff him out?
They're not my mates.
They're not your friends. This is a spoiler-heavy show, and my co-host over at True Crime is now going to tell you just how spoiler-heavy this is.
Okay, I'm going to explain this shit to you like you're 5. Get your eyes checked. Read the damn episode title. I don't want to hear any bitching, any complaining about how, oh, there's spoilers. No, read it. If you've not seen it, do not listen. Okay, I'm going to explain this shit to you.
And it looked. She was going to tell us twice. For anyone who's picking up any errors, we're using a brand new streaming and recording system today, so it's slightly temperamental. There may be some technical difficulties. Anyway, let's get into this movie because I can see Mark is itching to talk about it.
That's not having a good time tonight. No.
This movie starts with some stunning aerial and landscape shots. I mean, borderline like Jurassic Park good, the opening of this movie.
And I think I even mentioned it on the Jurassic Park episode. I love this era of 90s filmmaking, especially within like the creature feature genre, where it starts off in like some exotic, forbidden location before inevitably ended up in a suburban setting. But
yeah,
you didn't get this back when I was a kid. You didn't have access to the internet. You didn't have Google. So you'd see all these amazing exotic landscapes. And the only way you'd usually see them was either if you was watching David Attenborough or you was watching movies like this that featured them at the beginning. And it just looks incredible. So much better than a green screen.
Yeah, it really is. And like loads of the shots they've done again with helicopters like they did in Jurassic Park. And it's like the big rolling mountain. It's stunning. The opening of this movie is incredible. We're following a guy in a helicopter called Mr. Manley, who arrives in the jungle where he meets the scientist. And the scientist explains to him they're going to go on a hike to an unexplored part of the jungle. He's a bug expert and he likes to capture and document all types of bugs, especially spiders. I love
What a lunatic.
I love Mr. Manley. He's so like, right. Mr. Manley is borderline you at this point. Right, okay, yeah. All right. He's so like, what, we need to walk into the jungle? What, there's spiders. Right, okay. It's like, look, all you need to do is take photos. And I love when they walk in, like the guide takes them to a certain point and then the guide won't stop, won't go any further. Mr. Manley's like, what's the deal? He's like, yeah, this is as far as he'll go. And you see Mr. Manley look at the guide, look at him and just say, well, if he lives here,
and that's as
he
far
won't
as he's
go
going,
further.
then maybe we should stop.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I love how they get the spiders and the bugs. They go down to the bottom of this like big cavern and they're getting spiders and bugs out of this tree. They set up these funnels on the floor and they have got, the only way to describe it is like a diesel engine with a like leaf blower on the end and they just blow toxic fumes into the tree.
Yeah, so I didn't understand this. I'm assuming this doesn't kill them, obviously. This just like knocks them unconscious and they fall from the tree into the traps.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
so
I didn't
it's the same.
understand it then.
Yeah, it's the same as if you went and sucked on your exhaust pipe for 5 minutes, it would knock you out.
Yeah, and surely that would kill you, would it not?
I think it would eventually, but I think a small dose would just make you pass out. I don't know. I've seen.
Let us know.
I don't think I'll do that.
Do the research for the podcast, man.
Yeah, you hear all the bugs like falling. You see butterflies floating down, and then all of a sudden you hear this massive thud, and then another one as these spiders fall into the containers. And then it's like, oh, that's amazing. And then he goes to look at it, and it's alive. He's like, that should have killed it. Why is it not dead? Why is it crawling around this glass tank?
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I was confused about whether they were killing them or whether they were knocking them out. Because in this,
thinking
in this
about
scene,
it, he was killing
it should be dead.
Yeah, so they
and I
were
was like,
killing
well,
them.
surely if you're trying to study them and preserve them, you wouldn't want to kill them. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, that. But anyway, yeah, and he drops down and he walks over Mr. Man and he's like, oh yeah, it's dead. Don't worry, it's dead. And then he just jumps at him. And honestly, I was like, ah! I literally screamed. I didn't think it would have got me this early on. And it does, like, consecutively, like 3 times in the space of 5 minutes in this opening scene.
Yeah, and the spiders in this are a mixture of animatronic and real spiders. And where they're
I would have
using
said
real
at least
spiders,
98% real.
They are. So all of the ones in the containers and all the ones that you see throughout the main part of the movie, it's only the one at the very end, the giant one, the daddy one, that is a puppet.
Yeah, there was like a couple of like bigger sort of looking tarantula ones in the barn early on. I was like, well, they're not the real spiders, but like it looked good anyway. Well,
yeah, they're big.
Good.
They decide they're going to take 2 alive and 2 dead to study. And they head back to the camp. So when Mr. Manley got there, he's not been very well. He's suffering with a bit of a cold. And the next day, the scientist goes, look, you go and have a lay down because you look like shit. And he goes and has a lay down in his bed. Oh, man, the spider dropping down and crawling up and it's moving all his sheets on his leg. Oh,
mate. And then he lifts the sheet up and it just sinks his teeth into his stomach and just and it's so graphic as well. I was like, I'm sure this is a kid's film. What is going on?
It is. It's PG. Still a PG today.
Insane. And you see one of the biggest jump scares early on, just before we get to the tents, is you see, like, I think this is like the daddy spider who's not being captured, and he's like scurrying around in the bushes, and he like jumps out of the bush onto the bag, and I was like, fucking hell, what is happening here? This has been the worst experience of my life, honestly. It's been horrendous.
He kills Mr. Manley. Mr. Manley dies, which I was quite disappointed. I like him as a character. I'd liked him to have got a little bit more screen time.
He was all right. I mean, his death was cool though. The way he like goes into that seizure and starts like bleeding out of his mouth and stuff. I was like, oh, holy fuck.
And then all they do is they go, oh well, we'll box him up then and send him home. And they're boxing him up in like this makeshift coffin, and there's a big hole in the side. You see the spider crawl in, and I'm going, why is there a big hole in the side? And then they stick poles through the holes to pick it up. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, because they assume he's died of his fever and not from the spider bite, because nobody knows he's being bit by a spider.
Yeah. The spider takes a nice little hitchhike all the way back to California, where Mr. Manley comes from. The coroner's office scene is amazing.
So
You get
cool.
the coroner.
Like, oh yeah, because he's on the phone. He's like, oh yeah, I'm afraid we're not going to be able to give you an open casket at the funeral. And he looks like he's been drained like a Ribena or something like that. I can't remember the exact phrase he used.
Yeah, well, he starts off by saying, well, we can't do an open casket because the preservation techniques in the jungle are not the same as they are here. I think that's the politest way. And then the bloke pressures him. He's like, yeah, look, he's been sucked of all his blood. He's like, you can't. We can put a photo on the coffin for you instead.
And the practical effects look cool when you see the body. It looked like something out of the Poltergeist. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, really good. And you see the spider crawl out of the hole and onto the floor.
It's like 10 times bigger.
It's huge. I love the fact that when it comes into the hallway, there's a cat and a dog in the hallway. The dog goes out the cat flap. The cat goes out the cat flap. And when the spider goes out the cat flap, it's big enough to push the cat flap open.
See, the thing about this as well is like it's so cleverly done because it's not, you don't see the spider all the time. Like a lot of the times you just see, if you imagine a screen and then like on the corner of the screen, you'll see like the legs as it follows the camera. That was just insane. I was like, this is not cool for me at all. I think that gets me more seeing like the legs tingly wingling along than I think seeing the actual spider itself.
And also the POV spider cam. So when the spider's going towards the animals and the animals have run away, and it's almost like someone stuck a GoPro on top of a tarantula.
Yeah. Michael Myers of spiders.
When the spider gets outside, it gets picked up by a crow, and a crow flies away with it. And this is where I got a text from you. It's killed the crow. There's fucking legs everywhere. I hate this movie.
Yeah, I was not enjoying it at all. But the thing is as well about that particular scene, I just didn't think too much of it. But it comes completely full circle at the end. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, and this is the thing, they just don't make movies like this anymore in terms of writing and just overall execution. It's so thought out for a creature feature film that I just couldn't applaud it enough at this point.
The writing in this is fabulous. I mean, even down to the fact that when we start meeting all of these little bit part town characters, they've all got a backstory and we understand each character and each of their motivations because they've actually written just enough dialogue that we know this guy's an asshole. We know this couple are like this. And it's really, I can't applaud it for how well it is written.
Yeah, and when I saw the runtime, I was like, fucking hell, an hour and 49 minutes for a spider movie. I was like, what is this? It's going to be a right drag. And it's not because of how well developed everything is throughout. It's not, although obviously it is its primary focus is a spider movie, but the main focus of the subplot is this doctor coming to town and aptly named Dr. Death as people start dropping like flies around him. And it's really, really clever indeed.
Yeah, it's really, really good. The crow hits the deck and it pans from the crow hitting the deck up and we meet the family as they move in. So you've got the dad who's Jeff Daniels, you've got the mum and then the two kids. I love them. Here we get the dialogue that they've moved from the city because they don't want that busy life. They want a relaxed life. And he's come here to be the new doctor and she's going to sell a bit of a photography art and they'll get by. I love when the little kid goes to get his baseball that's gone near the spider and he's just about to put his hand down by the spider and the dad's like, yeah, anyway, you need to go pick your room. And he moves his hand up as the spider rears its back legs up. There's loads of that in this movie.
So much of it as well. It's one of the biggest compliments I have for it is how well done the tension building is throughout. Because it would be so easy in all of these scenes to just have an execution scene and have the spider attack and have a bite, but it builds it up so well in such a way that you just automatically assume it's going to happen, and until right at the very last second, 9 times out of 10, it never does. And again, with the score, the score that's combined with it, I think the score is from Trevor Jones. He hasn't done a lot of work in terms of musical scores throughout his career. I think he's done this. And he did Last of the Mohicans, Cliffhanger, and one other movie. But his score is phenomenal, apart from one particular element of his score, which I will get to when we get there. But that combined with the with the building of the camera work and the way that they proceed throughout these scenes is just so clever. Really good. Really, really.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to be like, God, you absolutely love this film. No, I don't. I fucking hate this movie so much, but I can't help but appreciate how incredibly executed it is.
I love this movie. One of the kids finds a spider in the house, and the dad's like, "All right, you've got a spider, okay," and instantly calls his wife to deal with the spider. Is this what you're like?
Yes,
it is. Okay, I was curious.
But the thing is, mine to the extreme. If there was a spider in my house, I would call my wife, and then I would leave the house immediately until the spider was dealt with.
Wow. Okay. Okay, that gives
we've
everyone
gone to bed
listening.
sometimes. Well, we've gone to bed sometimes on a night, and there's been a spider in the room, and I've just freaked out, man. Gone downstairs. I'm like, I'm not coming up until it's sorted. But she's got a heart, and she won't kill him. To me, I'm like, just stomp it, put it in the Hoover. She does a whole glass and paper thing, and then tips out the window. I'm like, don't do that. It might come back in.
Yeah, see, this is the same as the mum in this. So the mum picks it up with a bit of tissue, and they go and put it in the barn. I love the fact that the mum says, "Oh, you can't kill a spider first day in a new house. It's really bad luck." And then the dad plays this back later when they go to bed. He's like, "Well, you've got to make love in a new house. It's bad luck if you don't." And she like gives him a look, and then they start making love, and then it cuts to the spider. So the big spider that's come from South America has now met with the house spider they put in, and they've got like this really delicate scene where they kind of like touch arms, and you know that they're about to do it. It's very odd.
It's giving me shivers thinking about it, man. That scene's awful.
It's such a weird
just hairy,
creepy
legs everywhere. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, and I never understood. So the spider that comes in at the beginning, that is the main spider.
Yeah. Yeah,
because we get towards the end, we get like a queen. So I'm assuming the one he's made love with there is the queen.
Is the queen, yeah.
And then he's the one that they call the general at the end, is it?
Yeah, he's the general. She's the mother, basically.
Queen. Yeah. Because all the other ones that they spawn, they later mention that they're asexual and don't reproduce, and they're just sort of like drones, if they will.
Yeah, they're like effectively like worker ants.
Yeah. Okay, I get it now. I'm with you.
The dad is set to take over the town, like medical practice, the town doctors. The old doctor in there, when he gets there, is like, "Oh, I've got some really good news for the town." He's like, "What's that?" He's like, "I've decided not to retire." This bloke's like, "Oh shit."
I was so raged for Jeff Daniels in this moment. I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe you would do that. This dude has picked up his entire house, his entire family, and moved to this small community expecting to be the lead practitioner, only for you to just change your mind at the last minute. I didn't like this dude throughout, to be honest with you. He's such an arsehole.
He gets his comeuppance though, which is great.
Yeah.
Outside, he meets his first patient who saves him from the biggest, most petulant child of a police officer I've ever seen in any movie.
Oh God, yeah, that is the definition of someone who just loves to wear a badge.
Yeah, so he's given him a parking ticket because he's been there for like 1 minute too late, and this old lady comes out and is like grabs the ticket, tears it up, like, don't pay any attention to him. He was a bully. He's always been a bully. He was a bully at school. And he's like, yeah, well, I've had a bit of a bad day. I've got here. I now have no patience. She's like, you have one? And then gets in the car and I was like, I like you. You're a sweet little old lady.
She reminded me of Janet Leigh in Halloween H2O. I was like, oh, you're cool.
Yeah, very much so. He goes to see his first patient, and this is where we discover the existing doctor is useless. He's given her blood pressure pills that she doesn't need, and he's just kind of like very, very old school. He knows best. So the dad takes her off the pills. Like, you don't need these. He basically says they have a conversation about the doctor's a bit of an arsehole. How did he get so many patients? And she's like, oh, that was easy. He just threw a party. If he was as good at public relations as he is at if he was as good a doctor as he is at public relations, he'd be the Surgeon General. It's like, oh, okay. He's that guy.
Yeah.
And she says, look, we'll throw you a party when the nights get cooler and it'll be fine. You'll get loads of patients. Don't panic. When he gets home, this is where the mum goes, there is a big web in the barn and you need to go and look. Now, you are It's been documented so many times on this podcast. You are the man who would have to go look. Would you go look, or would you go no?
I would go and look, but I would be treading with extreme caution. And I would probably be suited up as well. I'm talking like one of those bee hunter suits. So gaffer tape around all the sleeves, as if I was going into some sort of nuclear fallout.
But you would still go and investigate.
I would look from a distance, but
Right,
I wouldn't
okay.
go up the ladder like Jeff Daniels does in this.
No, so he goes in, and as he's going in, he's explaining that he basically explains his fear. Like when he was a kid, he was 2, he remembers a spider crawled on his leg and he froze and it climbed all the way up his belly and over his face and he couldn't do anything. And that's where his fear comes from. And I love her reply. She's like, well, just think of this as like a type of therapy. We're making you face your fears, which is very similar to our game later on today.
I hate you so much, man. And I hated this conversation as well, where she's trying to explain to him that it's an irrational fear. But only somebody who doesn't have the fear would say something like that.
I agree. And I understand that it is a real fear. And hey, I'm scared of guinea pigs. What the fuck can I say?
It's the weirdest fucking thing ever, man.
You
I
say
get it.
that.
I mean, I wouldn't want to hold one, but I mean, to be actually terrified of seeing one. Like, if I showed you a picture of a guinea pig now, would you like freak out and be like, no, get that away from me?
I wouldn't freak out. It's actually the animal itself. It's the noise they make. It's the way they move. It's like they do this weird chomping thing with it. I just don't. I got bitten by one as a kid. And then after it bit me and I got like my hand out of its mouth, it like run around its little pen, making like a piggy squealing noise. And that haunts me to this day. Like if we go to a pet shop and they've got guinea pigs, I can't go look.
Oh, excellent. That makes me feel a little bit better about mine now, knowing how ridiculous yours is.
Yeah, the barn, holy shit. I am cool with spiders. Like I have no issue. Like where I record is riddled with spiders. I've got open beams above me. They're fucking everywhere. They don't bother me at all. I would think twice about climbing up that ladder. And Jeff Daniels' acting here, showing that fear, is so good, so believable.
Amazing. And I just want to give credit to the dude because his performance in this movie throughout is just phenomenal. And I think he's so underrated due to his more slapstick roles that he's done in the past, such as Dumb and Dumber and things like that. And I felt like those movies kind of destroyed his capabilities, really, and pigeonholed him for quite a long period of time. Because he shows such range throughout this entire movie. He is leading man quality in this. And he looks great as well. He looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, that is never the same dude in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. And he also done a series called, I think it was called The Newsroom, where he plays a news anchor. And that is phenomenal as well. He's such a good actor.
Yeah, brilliant. I haven't seen The Newsroom, but I am aware of it.
Very, very good. The ladder breaks and he loses his shit as stuff falls on him, and like things fall on him. He falls on the floor. His wife tries picking him up. There's cobwebs all over him, and as it pans back, you see like this sack of spider eggs hatching. Honestly, scarier than the eggs in Alien.
Did they come out at this point? I can't remember. I was wincing loads, and I didn't really pay
No, it was kind of just like pulsing, just like it's
pulsing.
about. Yeah, like it's about to go. We cut to the garden party, and this is where we meet the grandmother from Happy Gilmore, who's the doctor's wife. I smiled.
I recognised her, and I was like, "Is that like a knockoff Lynn Shay? The same way we get knockoff Meatloaf later on?" I thought, and I knew I remembered her face, but I'm not a big Gilmore Girls fan. Not Gilmore Girls, Happy Gilmore. Sorry.
Yeah, no, she's the grandmother from Happy Gilmore, which made me smile. I was like, "Oh, it's you. I've seen you in one other movie." The cutting back and forth from the party to the spiders is great. So it cuts from the party to the spiders. You see them hatch, back to the party, back to the spiders as they're kind of like working their way out from the barn. And then they're at the party. And like there's one that walks across the table under a cup and makes a cup move across the table. And it's like, oh, I don't like this. I'm cool with spiders and I don't like this.
No.
Now, the party was held by the neighbours, the lady neighbour. It's held at her house. And in this party, we get to meet all of the other characters, and it's done so well.
Yeah.
Like, it's the doctor and his wife meeting these other people. So you meet the coach of the school and his family. You meet the coroner and his wife. And it is just so neatly done that in 5 minutes, I've met all of the characters. They've had enough of a conversation and shown enough of their personality that I know who these people are and what they're like.
Yeah, you even get to meet Mr. Mann's mum and dad, who are dealing with the loss of their son, and she's drinking heavily at the party, and then that opens conversations for the coroner and Jeff Daniels, which then lets him know what had happened to him prior. So he knows what's happened to him coming back from his trip in South America, and it brings everything all together, just neatly chugging along and tying everything together as it goes. It's brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah, really good. After the party, the really nice neighbour settles down for the evening. She kisses the photo of her dead husband, sits on the sofa for a little while, and then she reaches her hand up to turn the light off. And as she does, you've already seen a spider come into her house. And as she reaches her hand up, you've got the silhouette of the spider in the lampshade, and it drops down. It dropped like I was expecting her to put her hand up into the light to get the switch, and then it bites her.
Just go ow, but it doesn't.
No, it does a full like Spider-Man drop and then bites her hand when it's about 2 foot away from the lamp, and it's like, oh.
And she's such a sweet lady as well. She didn't deserve to go out first. And this whole scene, as you see it walk through the front door and then around the house and across the wall and then up the lamp, and I'm like, oh, this is just horrible, absolutely horrible, because you know what's going to happen to her.
Yeah, and they build it so well, and they do it with all of the spider kills in this. They build it by showing you the spiders here, and we're going to show you it move to there, and we're going to show you it move to there, and we're going to show you the person simultaneously getting closer to this spider, so you know it's coming. But we're going to drag this out for 15 minutes, so you are.
And they do.
Yeah, they really do. She gets bitten, she's dead. It's as simple as that. The dad is working downstairs in his wine cellar. And he's using a nail gun, and the nails go straight through the floor because he's got woodworm or termites. And his wife says she's going to call the exterminator. The wife also mentions she can't get hold of the neighbour, and the dad goes over to see what's going on. He declares he gets there and finds her dead. The doctor, the arsehole doctor from the town, declares it as a heart attack due to high blood pressure. And this is where the dad steps in and goes, no, she hasn't got high blood pressure. I took her off those pills. And the doctor goes full on like, I'm going to get a medical inquiry launched. I'm going to get you struck off. You're a bad doctor. You killed this little sweet old lady. You're like, oh, man, you're such an arsehole.
Yeah, and he's trying to follow it by the book. And he's like, look, we need to do an autopsy because she is a perfect health. This should not have happened to her. And most people who have heart attacks don't bite their tongue off. So he knows she's had a seizure. But the doctor's like, no, we don't do that here. We respect the people of this town. That is just insane to think that we would put her through that and her family through that by providing an autopsy. I'm like, you dick, man, just follow a procedure. Like, you can't jump to conclusions to keep the peace. This woman has died of unknown causes, and you're just making everything just fit together nicely to suit your narrative.
Yeah, it's really, really backwards. Really backwards. It's like, it's bizarre. 100%. We cut to the funeral, and this is where we get a quick scene where the coach says, I'll sort you out with some work, don't worry. And then from there, the exterminator has arrived. John Goodman is a fucking legend. He is so good in this role. I cannot tell you how much he makes me smile every time he's on screen.
He is phenomenal in this movie, and he is so effortless in the way he plays it as well. Like, his comedic timing is just flawless. And it's done as if it's nonchalant, and he just doesn't even mean to do it. But it's just perfect. I laughed so hard every time he was on screen.
Yeah, and like he's doing the examination of the house, and he's like, so how would you feel about taking this whole floor out? She's like, no. He's like, okay, false alarm. Move on, lead on. Just not worry. And it like there's loads of bits like that, and he's like, you don't have a spider problem. You don't have a termite problem. She's like, well, what is it?
Problem.
It's bad wood. And she's like, what do we do about that? He's like, take out the bad wood, put in good wood.
Just so dry. It's perfect.
It
But I want to
is so
circle back
good.
to what I was talking about with the soundtrack earlier, and this is my issue: is John Goodman's musical cues. It doesn't happen constantly, but it is for the first maybe two-thirds of the movie. Every time he comes on screen, he gets
The
like this
clown car.
80s. Yeah, it's like the clown car stuff that you get in Halloween 5, and it's like comedic 80s sitcom intro music, and it just feels so tonally off to me. I just didn't get it. It just didn't fit right. I understood what they were trying to achieve with it, but it was, and it could have been done in a much subtler way. It was just so in your face. I was like, oh, this is just a little bit forced.
Yeah, I quite liked it. Like, as soon as that music started, like the first time I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit jarring. But when it come the next time, I instantly smiled because they started that music before he's on screen. And for me, I'm like, John Goodman's about to be on screen. This is great. It's almost like a precursor that I'm going to get some funny lines.
The thing is, though, he's just so good in his own right. I didn't feel like he needed it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I know that Steven Spielberg was insistent it had to be him. There was no question. It had to be him.
This is another thing as well. Even though this doesn't have Steven Spielberg's name attached to it or even in a producing role, it is just littered with Steven Spielberg aesthetics throughout. But if you do a bit of digging into the director, I think his name is... I do have it here in my notes if you bear with me. His name is Frank Marshall. Frank Marshall.
Yeah.
So him and his wife created Amberlin Entertainment.
Yeah.
With Steven Spielberg. So the director and his wife made Amberlin Entertainment with Steven Spielberg. Those two collaborated together. Frank Marshall as well. He hasn't done many films. I think he's done about 4 films in his entire career. But he is like the president of Lucasfilms now. He oversees everything in Star Wars world.
The thing is that anything done in the 80s, around the late 80s, early 90s, around this time, that Steven Spielberg was kind of attached to, it's a little bit like the Poltergeist. It's like that's a Tobe Hooper film, but 100% Tobe Hooper just sat next to him and took notes, and I get that vibe from this as well.
But the more films I watch from this era, the more I realize that there is a proper rat pack in Hollywood at this time. And it was George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and like a few others.
Yeah.
And like they just made everything. Even though they didn't put their name to it, they controlled everything in Hollywood around this sort of time with these types of movies and these sort of
bring them back
horror family friendly kind of movies. They just did them all, even though they didn't put their name on them.
But bring them back. Let them do that again because they do it very, very well. The guy who offered the dad work at the funeral was the coach, and the work he offered was to do the cough and drop test on the football team.
I've never understood this. I've never had to go through it or had a cough and drop test done to me. What is the purpose of a cough and drop?
It's not something. I don't think they do it in this country unless you go to the doctors. And it's
basically like the army, and when they like platoon and stuff like that, they do it in films like that. And
it's to check your testicles have dropped and there's no problems.
Right, in case one's hanging lower than the other.
Or in case one hasn't come down or whatever. But yeah, that's what it's for. I
feel like you would notice. I don't feel like the cough and drop test is necessary for a doctor to cup and cough for you to Does it involve actual cupping and holding?
Yeah, so the doctor cups your balls and then you cough. And when you cough, like if you ever cough like with no clothes on, you'll notice your testicles move.
Yes, they kind of go up like a slinky.
Yeah, exactly that. Because we all know our testicles are linked to our coughing. So yeah, basically he holds it, and if you cough and they don't move or they go up to, I don't know the full science to it, but it's something to do with when you cough, your testicles do something. And if they don't do the right thing, the doctor will then help you with some sort of treatment.
Right. Okay. It sounds a little bit Catholic churchy to me, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it sounds very, very Epstein Islandy. We watched the football practice, and this is the scene. If there's any scene in this that freaked me out, this is the scene. We see the coach makes a sub and he picks up his helmet, and just before he picks up his helmet, a spider crawls in it, and he puts on his helmet, goes into a play. He gets absolutely demolished. But we know the spider's in his helmet and the spider bit him. This is the one, like, I am one that will check shoes and hats before I put them on.
Yeah, always. Got to stay
Not
safe
because
out
I'm,
there, kids.
not because I'm worried about being bitten, more because I just don't want a spider like dangling down my face, or like I don't want to squash it more than anything else. But yeah, it's not nice.
But again, with this one as well, the scene in the helmet, you get the full journey of the spider as it comes down the bleachers and under the table, and it nearly gets the girl, and then it goes near Jeff Daniels, and then eventually it goes into the hat. And the whole time, it could have nearly killed 3 people on its journey.
Yeah.
And it's just so tense all the way through.
Yeah, and it kills him. Again, these spiders are super, super, super deadly. The dad's on hand, but there's nothing he can do. And we get another funeral. There's 2 funerals in this movie. And this is where, after the funeral, we find out from his kids that the other kids in town have called him Dot to death.
Yes.
That is not what you want if you're going to be coming in to be the new doctor.
No, it's not a great reputation to have to start with, is it?
No. It's fine, though, because we now cut to the arsehole doctor's house, who is walking on a treadmill, complaining about the new doctor. And I love the fact his wife calls him on the fact that, are you sure it's just that you just don't like him? He's like, no, it's got nothing to do with that. He's just a bad doctor. And it's jealousy is all it is.
Yeah.
This is a young doctor who's coming in and he doesn't like it.
No.
The spider.
They make a point of explaining that he's more educated and he's been to Yale and all the rest of it, compared to the other doctor who's just a local town doctor.
Yeah, the other doctor who's, I don't know, was a vet before or something stupid. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not the doctor I would want if I was sick.
No, definitely not.
This is my favourite spider journey. You talk about the spider journeys. This is my favourite, where it comes down the wall, across the floor, and into his slipper.
Because he nearly gets away as well.
Yeah, he does. He's not going to put his... Yeah, his wife's like, no. He's like, I've got to go to the toilet. No, put your slippers on. It's cold. You'll catch a chill. And he puts his foot in the slipper, gets instantly bitten, and then he's screaming at his wife, call the doctor. The other doctor now, Jeff Daniels, is now good enough. Call him now. And he starts having a seizure.
I like the fact that his was prolonged as well. Usually most of the times they get bitten and they die within seconds. He had time to inspect it and look at it and be like, oh shit, and fall over and have a conversation with his wife. It was cool.
Yeah, I like the fact that they killed him.
Yeah,
and I like the fact that and I like the fact they gave him a prolonged death for that exact reason. They knew everyone hates him. Yeah. When the dad gets there, basically he's already dead. The police are on the scene, and the dad orders an autopsy. The results of this are it was a spider bite, because there was an unknown toxin in his blood. And this is where
we go further, I just need to pull you back a minute, because we get to the doctor's room. Who is the dude? Who is the dude who actually looks like a sheriff? Because we've got the sheriff who was giving the parking tickets early on, but then we get this new dude come in and he's on the doctor's side and he's like, look, this is just a case of a heart attack. You're the guy who doesn't take no from anybody, but I'm willing to back you on this. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I get the feeling he's like a town mayor is kind of the vibe I get from him, because later on he's got his own little office, and that's kind of, I think he's a mayor of some description. But yeah, he's cool. I quite like his character. The dad orders for the other 2 bodies to be exhumed. And
because that would make perfect sense that he's a mayor, because he had to get permission from him in order to do the what is the word?
Exhumation.
Exhumation.
Yeah.
I would never have got there with that on my own.
I wish I'd known that. I'd have let you go for a while. The police officer's like, no, we're not going to dig up those bodies. This starts a trend now where the mayor just keeps turning around to the policeman and going, shut up.
Yeah, and then everyone else from this point on just walks all over him as well.
Yeah, shut up and do as you're told is the new line every time this policeman talks. Shut up and do as you're told. The dad is becoming a paranoid wreck about spiders. Like, he's checking cupboards and like everything he's doing. He's like, is there a spider? His daughter's going for a sleepover, and he's like, look, you can't go. If you go, you need to look out for spiders. The spider that turns up at the sleepover and drops down onto the doll, I was adamant it was going to get one of these kids, and then they get called for a snack, and she like flicks the book and it squishes the spider.
Oh, and then she stomps on it for good measure on the way out. I was like, yeah, get that shit.
The dad calls the scientist the following day because he's been doing some research. I don't know how he'd done this in 1990. We had no internet.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
I'm assuming he got some books, read some National Geographic, and found out this was like the spider guy.
Or does he work out at this point that this is the guy who the photographer has been with?
No, he hasn't worked that out yet. That's a little bit later. But
So
he finds out that Julian Sands, who we saw at the beginning, he knows he's a spider expert, and he calls him for help. Julian Sands like, look, no, there's loads of little towns that get these little outbreaks of a weird virus, and spiders quite often get blamed. Long and short of it, I'll send my assistant down to you. The assistant is so squeamish and such a weird character. I didn't get him at all.
I loved him. I thought he was great. I really liked him because you can tell he plays the character well of being the understudy and being out of his depth with it, but wanting to learn and is curious. I really liked him in this.
Yeah, really squeamish around the body. So like they find the first spider bite, then they find a bite on the second one, then they find a bite on the first one. And they call the scientist. He's like, well, if you can get me a live specimen, I'm on my way. I'll be there tomorrow. But if you can get me a live specimen, this will speed up the whole process. And this leads them into like a game of hide and seek where they go to his neighbor's house and look for a spider. This scene is the most tension-filled scene in the movie by miles for me.
Yeah, this is the best one for me when we're talking about build up towards finding a spider. And I'm assuming you're going to go to the same place as me as with this, but it's the one with the cups on the rack. So they have about 10 cups hanging on a rack like you do in a kitchen. And the sheriff is slowly tipping them one at a time, just rocking them back and forth to check if there's a spider in the cup. And I tell you now, I was like, it's going to jump. It's going to jump at the screen. I'm going to fall off my chair, and this is going to be the worst thing in the world. And again, it just builds it and builds it and builds it until then eventually nothing happens. But man, it was awful. It was awful to sit through it.
Yeah, and when we do get the spider reveal's great. So the cop has stolen like a box of cereal and he's just like shoveling handfuls in his mouth. And then he pulls out a dead spider from the box. It's like, oh, that's not good. And then you get Jeff Daniels and the assistant. There's a live spider on the table. And Jeff Daniels is frozen to the wall. And as the assistant's moving, the spider's mimicking him, like waiting to jump. And he's like, you need to move so I can get it. And Jeff Daniels is like, I don't think I can. Would you be able to move in this scenario?
No, because I don't know this dude well enough to know how quick his reactions are. I would have just been out of the room. I'm like, sorry, dude, you're on your own with this.
You'd have left him to die.
I would have left him to die. I don't know this guy.
We found a movie where Mark's hero complex has been broken and he no longer wants to save people. He no longer wants to go investigate. This is the movie that done it. And it's a PG.
Oh, man. But the thing is, you just wouldn't. He stood there with a glass ready to trap the spider on the table. And as you say, it's mimicking his movements. So he needs Jeff Daniels to step forward in order to cause a distraction so he can trap it.
Yeah.
These spiders are fast as fuck, man. They are rapid movements and they can jump like very, very far.
Yeah.
Very long way. And it is terrifying. And I just don't think I trust him enough to catch it.
No, I'm pretty sure I'd go with the tried and tested method of something heavy on the back of its head.
Yeah, but they need a live specimen.
That's the scientist's problem for when he arrives tomorrow. I wouldn't have even gone looking for the spider. We cut from here. They catch the spider. We cut from here to the spider in the shower. and the spider in the toilet, which is a double tension building scene, which is so well done. There's a spider that's crawling into the shower with the coach's daughter, and there's one that you see climb into the toilet when the coach goes to go to the toilet. The girl screams.
Just to be clear, they're in separate bathrooms here. He's not using the toilet while his daughter's in the shower.
No, they're in separate bathrooms. The girl screams. The dad gets off the toilet, which avoids his spider bite. And then when he gets in there, the spider's gone down the drain. And the way that climbed down the drain,
goes on her, though.
Yeah, all the way down her chest and down her leg and on her foot and
on her face. It falls off the shower head onto her face. I'm like, and she's just washing her hair, thinking it's just water running down her face. I'm like, holy shit, man, that's a spider on your face.
Yeah, I would be okay if a spider fell on me in the shower, I think.
Dude, you're a lunatic.
Yeah,
that bathroom would be destroyed. I would have fallen through. I'd have pulled the shower curtain off. I'd have been smashing things to pieces to escape. In a wet, slippery mess trying to get out of the room.
Yeah, if a guinea pig fell on me in the shower, exactly the same.
In what situation could that ever happen?
I need our next horror movie needs to be a guinea pig horror movie because the fear would be real.
I've searched high and low. This is something that I'm putting out there now as a request. If somebody can find me a horror movie that features a guinea pig, I found one, but it was just like a test guinea pig, and then they turned it into a zombie, and it was like this zombie guinea pig hybrid. It's like a French film, and it doesn't look anything like a guinea pig for like 90% of the movie. So I was like, that's not really going to cut it. So if anybody can find a genuine horror movie with a killing in a guinea pig, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and if no one does, I will make one in 2026. You heard it here first.
There is no way you have the capabilities to do that. You wouldn't be able to get any guinea pigs on set to be able to do it.
I would. I just wouldn't be able to go near them. I would not star in it. I'd direct it. That's how that would work. The exterminator's called to the coach's house. John Goodman makes this movie. He's checking the bathroom and he puts his hand underneath the toilet and he pushes the spider out of his way with his hand. He's like, there's no spider here. So deadpan. He's like, it's definitely not a spider. And then when he goes outside, there's a spider on the decking. And you can see the joy in his face. He's like, I get to use my poison spray. And he pulls it out like the Terminator pulling out a gun and sprays it. And the spider gets up and he's like, takes a real angry step forward and sprays it harder, and it gets up again, and then he crushes it with his boot, and then he hits us with the line, yeah, that's right, I'm bad.
Yeah, brilliant. Not his best line. Not his best line in the movie, but it was fantastic when he executed it like he did.
And the fact that he is an exterminator and this spider just got up, you could see the anger on his face, how dare you? I sprayed you. You're dead now. The scientists arrive, and this is where the dad works out that he's the guy from South America who Mr. Manley died. And he's like, I think one of your spiders hitched a ride back with Mr. Manley. And they test the venom. So they've got this spider and they've kind of splayed it open and they test the venom. It's got no sex organs. And this is where he's like, well, I think what's happened is the big spider's mated with a house spider. They take some big leaps in logic here. The big spider mated with a house spider. All of the other spiders are just worker spiders. And they're all dying because they don't live very long. So if you find the main spider and kill the main spider and destroy the nest, all the spiders will die.
Yeah.
If you don't do that,
they do that thing where they build it up throughout, where there's no crickets anywhere, and so they're just simple throwaway lines early on, oh, we can't hear any crickets, and this is where we find out that the spiders are just going out and wiping out all the insects in the area.
Yeah, and it's if you don't find the nest, these are going to spread out to this town, and this town is dead. The next town, that town is dead, and the next town, and this will go on until that nest is destroyed. And they make the leap that the first place they saw the spider was at the coroner's office. Therefore, the nest must be there. And we cut to the coroner and his wife sitting down to watch Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
And he pours the popcorn into this big, clear glass bowl. and a spider gets in with it. This is the worst scene where he's putting his hand in, and like you can see the spider. It's a real spider in that bowl. You see as he moves the popcorn, the spider moves. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, horrible, 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 horrible. I couldn't work out whether the spider had been in the microwave with the popcorn or it just snuck into the bowl.
No, it snuck into the. But you watch actually see it sneak into the bowl after he puts the bowl on the side, turns around to get his drinks out of the fridge, and then when he turns back, the spider's in the bottom of the bowl, chilling out in a bit of popcorn.
I was going to say, Jesus Christ, they can withstand microwaves. What is going on with these creatures?
The scientist sends the cop. Basically, he's left with the cop, and he's like, "Look, go and round up the others because I'm pretty sure it's at the barn." And he worked this out because as he's walking through the police station, there's a photograph on the wall that the doctor's wife had taken, and it is of a big spider's web. And he's like, "That looks very similar to the one in South America." It's in the barn.
Really funny because I really laughed in this scene because you don't see the spiderweb photo, you just see the photo of the barn.
Yeah.
And he's like going on, he's like, "Where is this place? I need to know where this place is." I'm like, dude, you are not that intelligent that you've seen a random photo of a barn and you know that that's where it's nesting in this town. And then the camera pans out and you see the spiderweb photo that she took earlier on. I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
but I was like genuinely going to call it out in that time. I was like, no, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on this film.
And the thing is, for a brief moment, for these like 2 minutes here, he becomes Halloween 5 Dr. Loomis levels of crazy.
Yes.
Like
I love Julian Sands in this. He's so good.
Julian Sands was an incredible actor. Such a tragic loss that he died. It was last year he died, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I think. How long did he go? He was missing for about 6 months before they found him, I think.
Yeah, tragic. Really, really sad. The scientist goes to the barn, so he gets dropped off at the barn. He climbs up the ladder, and he's admiring the web, and he twangs the web. And as soon as he twanged it, I was like, "You twat! What did you do that for?"
Yeah, just playing with your food.
And this massive spider just leaps out of him. And we cut to the rest of the people who've now realised it's in the barn themselves. And they're being taken there by the exterminator. So you've got the exterminator, the assistant, and the dad. I love this scene, or these next couple of scenes so much. So you get the exterminator like tools up and goes and starts like into the barn, and he finds the scientist's body. Can't find the spider because the spider crawled out next to him as he went in. Again, brilliant bit of writing. He walks in and he's looking up at the web, and the spider like almost crawls through his legs. The dad goes indoors to get his family out, and there are spiders everywhere.
This is my worst nightmare.
I when I saw this, I thought this would be like, this is something that would wake you up in cold sweats.
Yeah, this is nightmare fuel to me. And although I must admit, it didn't really bother me as much as some of the stuff prior, where you had the individual spiders like self-assassins creeping about. The mass of them, I don't know why, I just didn't really feel that uncomfortable with it. I don't know whether it was just, I don't know what it was, but it didn't seem to bother me as much as the stuff prior to it and a few scenes later on that we'll get to. But as horrifying as it was, I think because it was so action fueled and there was so much going on, it was hard to be sort of enticed by what was actually going on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's some real good horror elements in here. So they run to the front door, and as they get to the front door, there's like spiders drop down on webs in front of the door. So they can't go out the front door. So they run upstairs. I was like, that is the perfect use of a horror trope. There is a genuine reason you can't go out that door. They get up into the bathroom and they get trapped, and there's spiders trying to come under the door. And they're coming through, like trying to, like, you can see them like trying to force the handle out to crawl through the handle.
Insane. Like, how do they even do that? Like, coming together as an army, like blowing door handles off to break through to get to these people. Like, this is what I mean. How can you possibly not be terrified of these things?
Because they're in a movie.
Yeah, I still believe they do this. I strongly believe this is possible for spiders to do this.
I do as well. Thankfully, we don't have that sort of venomous spiders in this country. Everyone climbs out the window, apart from the dad who gets trapped inside. And when he got trapped inside, even I went, oh, you poor man. I actually felt really sorry for him. The only person who's got a fear of spiders is now trapped inside. We cut out to the exterminator, who is now fully tooled up. He's pulled out his special brew, own brand, like acid, and he's got like a hard hat on and big gloves. And when he starts spraying them, he's like, they're melting now. There's no surviving anymore.
No, he's upgraded his formula and he is ready to kick ass. He even says his best line, and it doesn't sound like much when you repeat it. He's like, rock and roll.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like much, but in the moment, it's fucking flawless.
Really good. The dad is trying to make his way across the stairs, and they're everywhere, and he falls over the banister through his rotten wood floor at the bottom. Again, brilliant writing. Didn't see this coming. And he lands in the basement. And this is where he discovers the egg sac is actually in what was going to be his wine cellar. The big spider in here is incredible. And it is Michael Myers level stalking the dad. Even the camera shots is like, you see it, like he'll see it, like a glimpse of it pop out, and then it'll disappear. Then it cuts to spider cam as the spider's like looking where he is. It's so good, so well shot.
So this is the queen spider he deals with first, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is the one that's come from South America, I think. Oh no, it's not. No, it's not. This is a house spider that's been sexually assaulted.
Yes, this is the poor sexually assaulted house spider. This spider is actually a real spider as well.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's a real spider. I'll talk about it in facts, but this first big spider you see, that is a real spider, and that is the real size of it.
And Jeff Daniels was just letting it crawl around near him. No.
It's he tries to kill it with a shovel, and he swings for it, and then he can't see it. It being on the actual shovel was absolute genius. And then he flings it into the electrical box, and it basically cremates the spider. But the huge daddy spider arrives now, and this is so good. The big spider arrives, and Jeff Daniels like trips and ends up crushed. And this spider is like slowly walking in on him, like, I'm going to kill you. And Jeff Daniels can't do anything. And I'm sat here going, how is this a PG? How
is anything in this a PG? This is a straight up R-rated horror movie throughout. It's horrible.
And he collects really expensive wine, and he's launching like $300 bottles of wine at this spider to try and get rid of it. And then when he gets free, he picks up a spray can and a lighter, which we've all done as a kid.
Yes.
Homemade flamethrower. He's like torching everywhere, and the spider's vanished, and it's up on the pipes above him, and he can hear it's so big you can hear its feet hitting the pipes, and he knows it's coming.
Queasy talking about it. It's horrible.
But he knows it's coming down one of the pipes, and like he stood there waiting to like blast it, and it jumps out and he falls over, and then he freezes, and you get the callback to his story where this spider casually crawls on his foot and up his leg, and it climbs onto like a wooden plank that's on his chest. And as it climbs on that, he just fucking whacks the wooden plank and sends this spider flying.
So brave, man. So brave. I have to commend him for that. I don't think in that situation, because he's clearly thought out, he's like, I'll wait till it gets to the plank and then I'll just catapult it off. I could not let that get that far up me.
No, nor me.
Even if it was anywhere near my foot, I'd be kicking and screaming and probably crying quite a lot.
He flicks it into the fire, and this is where we get on fire spider attack for one last scare. It kind of like leaps out. It's almost like a Freddy Krueger fully torched, like running at him, and he shoots it with a nail gun to kill it. John Goodman arrives. And the dad's like, oh, I think we got him. And John Goodman's like, yeah, no need to thank me. Done a great job here.
Taking all the credit.
The closing shot of the movie is the family are now living back in the city, and honestly, I don't blame them. They've saved a bottle of the wine too, and they're drinking that. And then there's a little bit of an earthquake tremor. I love the way that like the dad palms this off. It's like, oh, it's nothing. That wouldn't have even registered on the Richter scale. He's like, should we check the kids? And they're like, yeah.
And it's quite a big earthquake. It's clearly a big earthquake, and they're doing this as if to say, yeah, I would rather this than spiders.
Yeah, and then he goes to check the kids, and there's an even bigger like tremble, and then the credits roll. I want the earthquake movie sequel.
I honestly thought that there would have been a spider coming out of one of the moving boxes. I thought that's what they were going to set up, and then we'd have like arachnophobia in the city, but it didn't go there, and I have to give it credit for not doing that.
Yeah, this 100% is a one and done. They had no intention of going with this again, which again, something that doesn't happen now. Everyone wants to make a franchise.
Yeah.
Which is sad. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. Hey guys, after this episode, why not head over to yourunpodcast.com and check out You Run Podcast Network member Pop Culture Reflections Podcast. Whether you like movies, professional wrestling, or anything from the 80s, 90s, or beyond that is pop culture, they will cover it. So why not head over to yourunpodcast.com and reflect on the decades that made us and brought us to where we are today. Right, we're back. It is time.
3-word review. Very nice.
3-word reviews is still my favourite thing we've ever done. And we've got a scattering kind of from all social media with a mixed bag of opinions. Some people share your love of this movie. Other people share mine. We've got Dissect That Film from X. So we'll start with X. Creepy Crawly Fun. And they're a movie podcast. Patio Lantern 22. Lots of spiders. And they're a horror and video game fan who loves Michael Myers. Over on Threads, we've got McTire 1. Your Worst Nightmare, and they're the author of the Falcon Ridge series of books. Nate Mayer, Shitload of Spiders, and they're an amateur writer and professional chef. Over on TikTok, we've got Hannah Under the Moon. No, thank you. Simple. They're a mixed fan account. We got Scary Larry, who everyone knows as Chunky Larry, been on the show. Miss Julian Sands. I agree. Yeah, very much.
I don't know
so.
a great deal about his filmography, I'll be honest with you. I know he was like the Warlock in like all 3, maybe 4 Warlock movies. But I know he did quite a lot of British period piece movies and stuff like that. But I don't remember him from a great deal of stuff that I would know within horror.
He's one of those actors that whenever you see him, you know who he is. And every single time he's really good. But he always plays like a character to the side. So to remember his filmography is quite difficult because he's never the main guy.
Is he in Harry Potter? I have a feeling he's in Harry Potter. He's got to be most British. Is he like Thingy's dad?
No.
Malfoy's dad?
No, that's not Julian Sands. I don't think.
Are you sure? My brain's just thinking Julian Sands because he's got long hair in this now.
Yes, bear with, folks. This is where we
have to fact check this because I won't be able to sleep tonight unless I know now.
Yeah, and I need to check it because Heather called us out on not checking shit. So, you know, no, he was not in Harry Potter.
Oh.
That is someone completely different. I'm not going to search for who that was, but no, it was not Julian Sands. Anyway, moving on. John,
no doubt we'll get a call next week explaining to me who Malfoy's dad was.
I hope so. John Paul Gray Zero, Serial Triggers Me. And they're a photo editor and a cool TikTok account. Instagram, Lumberjay Reviews. Fuck this movie. I think, yeah. And that's Jay of Lumberjay Reviews and the Girl and the Gay podcast. Doreen Yates, Love Big Spiders. Yeah, so do I. And that's a Chester Bennington tribute account. We've got That Random Horror Show, Spiders Are Fun, and they're a horror podcast from Texas down near Heather. And finally, we've got BJ Mumbo, 8-Legged Freaks. And they are a YouTube account. Mark, which one is your favourite this week?
I'm going to go with 8-Legged Freaks just because it's an obvious one, but it's a timeless one to go with.
Okay, that's cool. If you want to get your notes ready.
1, 2,
It's that time of the week. Time for Mark to recommend an account. Yay!
So this week's recommended account is quite a random one, actually, and I don't really have much substance behind why I'm recommending it, or what it actually is. The account is called Skeleton Soul 76. There's no bio, there's no description, but this account clearly owns 2 skeleton mannequins, and he or she or they dress them up in actual costumes and just photograph them as if they're living out a normal daily life. It's so strange.
That's
It
amazing.
is so weird, like selfies and getting ready doing the Christmas tree and they've got a skeleton dog and they take it for a walk and stuff, man. It is the strangest thing I've ever seen, but I'm just enamored by it. I go on it all the time. It's really fun. Check it out.
What's the name of the
Soul
account?
76. Skeleton
100%.
Soul 76.
100%. I'm following that because that sounds awesome.
It's right up your street, this one.
Yeah, and let's be honest, accounts don't need to do weird and wonderful things and be super good artists or anything like that to be a great account. And something
just
that
the
simple.
randomness of it is perfect.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's no one else doing that. That's a great idea. I'm following that in a second. Nice short one. If you do go and follow him, let them know that Mark sent you there. You Run Podcast sent you. Let's do some facts.
Can we just do the game, man? Because I feel like this is just building up to something awful, and I just want to get it out of the way.
Well, we're doing the game after facts, so we'll do facts. Then you can play your game. I understand that you're really excited to play it, but we're going to do it in a minute. The safety of the spiders was top priority for the production, purely for the fact that when you're working with animals, you need to make sure that they don't die. When John Goodman had to spray the spider, it was a fake spider that he sprays, and then it was a fake spider that he sprays the second time. And then when he crushes the spider, he had a hollowed out shoe, and he actually trod on a real spider, and instead of it dying, it would just tuck in its legs and curl up and go into the hole in the bottom of his boot.
Why would you do that?
The noise for the spider dying was done by like a handful of crisps crushed. Which I thought was cool. Jeff Daniels claims he is fine with spiders. However, everyone says on set that he was absolutely petrified. One of the spiders, the big one, was nicknamed Big Bob. That's what they called it. We'll talk about Big Bob a little bit more detail in a second. John Goodman was not fazed by spiders at all. He's quoted as saying, "We see eye to eye. Well, 2 eyes to their 16, but we get along just swell."
Is that how many eyes they have? 16?
I don't think they do. I think well, maybe they do. John Goodman says it. Must be true.
It must be true.
Yeah. They used 2 different species of spider for this. So the smaller spider is a native spider to California. It's effectively a big house spider. The second is a bird-eating tarantula native to the Amazon. They brought this spider in. It's called Big Bob. There was only one in the US, and that's the one they used. The production team had to paint stripes on its back and add a prosthetic abdomen to make it look bigger. So there is a prosthetics team who worked on this, who had to work on a live tarantula and add a prosthetic back end to it.
No. You couldn't pay me enough.
That team, could you imagine how stressful that was for that team to try and, mind-boggling.
Just let me just hold you and just put that bit. No.
It's not like a human where you go, can you move a little bit to the left? And it's got fangs at the front if you piss it off. So you've got to be really
kill
careful.
A crow and kill a live big bird. The crows are massive. Crows are big.
Yeah. But he was nicknamed Big Bob, and apparently everyone had a chance to hold him and spend time with him. And he got on great with the rest of the cast. When Julian Sands spots the web on the picture, and then it cuts back to them working out where, like, the house in the middle is the house. They ask the cop what house that is, and he says it's the old Daniels place, and that was really because Jeff Daniels lived there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even though that's not his name in the movie.
No, exactly that. Hey, a white mouse that you see injected with the venom was not injected. So you know where they hold the mouse up and they stick a needle in it, and you see the needle go in. It was a retractable needle because again they didn't want to hurt the mouse. That's our facts this week. So now it's time to play a game that I created honestly about 18 months ago. And I spent from then till now working how to make this work for not only people watching on YouTube who get to see what Mark sees, but also for all the people listening. So, Mark, I'm going to share with you some pictures and some video clips.
Oh,
And
dude,
all you need to do is describe what you're seeing to the people who are listening. Spoiler, they're all spider themed. And the aim of the game is to get through all 6 pictures and 2 videos. They get progressively worse as we go along. My goal is to make you quit. So if you want to stop the game, all you have to say is, I'm a Mark, get me out of here, and we'll stop sharing the images and I can celebrate that I've beaten you in another game.
No, look, because you just goaded me now, because you know that I don't want... Fuck's sake.
So are you ready for the first image?
No,
They start off easy. They start off easy and they get progressively worse. So you have a good indication of when you can tap out and say that's enough.
How is this going to work? Are they going to flash up on me? Or
they're going to pop up the same way that we done the trailer earlier. So they're going to pop up and you and me will go to the side. You ready for the first one?
No, I don't want to do this.
Let's do it anyway. There's your first one.
Oh, it's a nice Spider-Man one.
So
I don't mind Spider-Man.
So you're cool with that one, okay? So let's go on to the next one. That's your next one.
Oh, that one's quite cute. I don't want to touch it or hold it, but they're like proper minuscule ones, aren't they?
Yeah, this is a dancing spider, so it puts its ass in the air, which is really colourful, and waves its arms to attract a mate. So you're cool with that one? You're doing okay? You ready to go on to the next one?
No. Do it.
Do it. That one's gone.
See that? That's awful. That's proper awful. They're like dinner plate size. Them ones. I've seen them on like stuff before.
That is not a dinner plate size spider. That is a spider zoomed in. That is a house spider from the UK.
Shit, that's in my house.
Are you ready? Are you ready to go up a level?
Can we turn that one off?
Yeah, let me get rid of that one. Hold on. Okay, that one's gone. You got a blank screen now.
How far in am I?
You're halfway through the pictures. So that was level 1 of the pictures. That the first 3 ones. Then you get 3 more pictures, and you got 2 video clips.
Right.
So let's do the next picture. You ready?
Yeah. Go. Oh! Why would you do that?
Can you describe what that is for everyone at home?
It's a spider.
What's the spider doing?
It's on someone's hand. Why would you hold that? Why are they so hairy? I don't like it. It's brown. It looks like a conker with legs.
It's gone. It's gone. I've got rid of it. So you got 2 more photographs to go through. Are you ready for the next one? You're doing better than I thought you would do. I thought you were tapping out at the dancing pretty spider.
See, the thing is, if I just do that and I slowly reveal, it's not too bad. But if it flashes at me, I'm not prepared for it. I don't like it.
Get prepared then, and I'll do the next one.
Right, go on then. Go steady with it. Go steady with it. No. Why is it red inside?
Can you describe what it is?
It's a spider. And it's big.
It's big.
It's got spiky things on it.
Yeah,
And it's
there
red
its
in
fangs.
its belly.
Yeah. Okay. Right. You've done that one. Let me get rid of it for you. Right. It's gone. It's gone. You're okay.
I need a minute, dude. I need a minute. This is not
Okay.
cool. And do you know what's worse? Is like that's not so bad seeing the pictures. It's the videos because I know you're going to have picked some horrific stuff as well. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the videos.
There's only 2 videos, and
It doesn't matter if there was only one. I don't. Right. How many pictures have I got left?
1.
This one's going to be bad, isn't it? Right. Go on then. Just do it. Just do it. Just rip it off like a band-aid. Just do it.
Okay. Here it is.
Well, that one's not too bad. It's when they're hairy that I think it bothers me. That looks like the one out of A Bug's Life.
Yeah,
Is
see,
that the one that kills you, though?
Yeah, that's a black widow. That's one of the most deadly spiders on the planet. But you're okay with that one, but not with the hairy one that I showed you before that can't hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I don't want it anywhere near me. But that's not in our country, is it? That you
No.
don't get them here, do you?
No, they live in Australia. Let's take them away. Let's give you a breather. That better? You've got you've got 2 video clips. You're doing so well. I'm genuinely proud of you. It's like therapy. We're helping you with your fears, like they did with Jeff Daniels.
I feel like you've just switched to this streaming service just so you can play this fucking game.
It may very well have played a part in my move. Are you ready for the first video? It's not long. This is like a 6-second long clip.
Right. Is it eating something?
No.
So what's it doing?
Well, this is the whole thing. I'm going to show you the video, and you're going to tell everyone who's listening what it's doing. It's not eating anything. It's just.
It's definitely not eating or attacking anything.
Definitely not. It's just being a spider. Just a spider being a spider.
Right. Go on then. Go.
Okay,
Go.
Here we go.
Go.
It's gone. It's gone.
I'm not doing it. I'm out. I don't want to play anymore.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to see the last one. That was fucking. I'm not doing this game, man. That's it. I'm done. You win. Take credit. I don't care.
Okay, you need to say the words.
I might get me out of here.
Oh, okay. You've done so well. When we release this episode for everyone else's benefit, Mark, I'll pre-warn you now. I'll put a trigger warning on my story for everyone else's benefit. I will share the final video clip so everyone else can see it to see what you dipped out on.
No. That was huge. Why would no? The thing is the legs, man. It's. Do
you know those spiders that you saw in that clip? They are completely harmless. They're tree spiders. They're just big fucking spiders. It's a little girl playing with them. She's got 2 or 3 as pets.
Why would you keep them in your house freely?
I don't know. So I've never seen you. Are you okay now?
No, I didn't like that at all.
How's dry January treating you?
Oh, how fucking embarrassing.
You can get your own back and show me pictures of guinea pigs one day.
Can you describe to me what you was going to put in the last video? What does it do?
The last video is a man holding a tarantula and encouraging that tarantula to take a bite out of his hand, which it does.
Yeah, no thanks. I don't need to see that in my life. I want to go to bed tonight.
I will share it on my story and I'll put a warning before I share it. So yeah.
I was so confident I was going to get through this because the pictures I found they were unpleasant, obviously, but as soon as I saw that one crawling, then that was it. I was done.
You've done well. You've done really, really well. Do you want a minute to compose yourself and I'll do my roundup first?
Yeah, please go. Do you know the thing is as well? Like I was watching Arachnophobia today and I was like, do you know what would be absolutely hilarious if other people could see how much of a girl I'm being right now over this film? Because the way you saw me just dart off screen then and rolled my chair across the room. I did that about 50 times today.
Really?
So bad, man. I must have said, oh, fuck, about 1 million times.
Anyone who's not watching on YouTube, come and watch the game on YouTube because it's worth it to see Mark's reactions. You've done really well. I feel kind of guilty now.
No,
I enjoyed it.
You're an awful, awful man.
I love this movie. Spielberg's involvement in this was relatively minimal, if you believe what we're told. However, he managed to get this movie past the ratings board. This was another Steven Spielberg stepped in and went, well, no, it is kind of a PG. It's a family movie, all about a family dynamic. And that's how this become a PG movie. He's done this with Jurassic Park. He also done it with Poltergeist. It was Steven Spielberg's direct hand that told them that, no, it's not a scary movie. It's not about the ghosts. It's about the family dynamic. And he seems to have such a knack to get things past the ratings board that if anyone else tried, there's no way in the world this should be a PG movie. Not in a million years.
It's a 15 all over. Even by today's standards, I would put this as a 15.
100%. If you are scared of spiders, this is the absolute worst movie in the world. And I genuinely would not want you to watch this movie. It nails that fear of spiders so well. Jeff Daniels displays it so well, and as do other characters throughout. The cast are solid. All of the performances are great. All of the work with the spiders is phenomenal. The tension building is something else. They use a practical effects spider, but they use it so sparingly you don't even notice because it's interspersed with so much else that's going on. I love this movie. Its first full marks of the year for me. This gets a 5 out of 5.
Solid score indeed. For me, obviously, as you know, I didn't willingly choose to watch this movie, and I probably wouldn't have chosen to watch this had it not been for the show. I've seen this before when I was a kid, very young, or at least I remember bits from it, and there's certain scenes that definitely ring a bell for me. But it was an awful experience to go through it and sit through it, having a fear of spiders, which I know sounds ridiculous, but it's a genuine fear. I'm not just playing it up. It is horrible. And it was really, really bad for me to have to sit through and watch this. That being said, the writing in this film is absolutely incredible. The performances from Daniel Phillips.
Someone else.
Daniel Phillips. Performances from Jeff Daniels is incredible. And even the bit part players such as Julian Sands, John Goodman, everybody brings stellar work to the front of this movie. And without them, I do feel like it would have suffered heavily in their absence. Again, practical effects wise, I do feel there's slightly a few bits towards the end that have dated with time and are noticeably practical, but they still hold up better than most today. And I think, like you mentioned, that they're interspersed with the use of real spiders throughout is what makes it so unnoticeable, if you will. It's only because I'm criticizing it from this standpoint that I'm picking up on these little bits. The musical cues, like I mentioned with John Goodman, annoyed me quite a lot, more than I actually expected it to, because I felt like it damaged the overall tone of the film. Everything was so consistent up until that point. But again, one thing that I really appreciated about it is how solid the writing is, and how the fact that this movie doesn't get away with itself like a lot of creature features do. You don't get to the end and have this gigantic 10-foot spider. Everything is grounded and realistic in its approach, barring the obvious leaps in logic in terms of intersexual relations with spiders spawning hunter ant spiders and all the rest of it. So I really appreciate it from that standpoint. Overall, this movie is very, very solid. There isn't a lot that I can pick apart from it other than the minor gripes that I've mentioned. If you do have a fear of spiders, this is certainly the worst one to watch. I've seen stuff like Eight-Legged Freaks and the over-the-top ridiculous spider movies that feature big giant CGI spiders or big ridiculous practical effects spiders. Eight-Legged Freaks, I can watch Eight-Legged Freaks because it's so clearly fake that I can sit and watch it. But they use genuine spiders throughout this film, and it's haunting. It is truly haunting to see. This is the first time I felt genuinely terrified watching a horror movie since I was probably 13 years old, hiding behind a pillow watching The Candyman. And it was nice to have that adrenaline feeling again that I had when I was a kid, because we're so numb to horror movies nowadays, especially people who watch them regularly like we do. It's really hard to try and find something that pushes the boundaries and gives you that genuine fear that you had when you were a kid and you were first introduced to movies like this. But I got that again today from this, which is something that I didn't think would have happened to me. And I don't know whether it's well, I know exactly what it is. It's the subject matter at hand. That caused it.
But that's a good thing. That's, as horror fans, that is the thing that we search for.
Yeah, that is what you search for as a horror fan, and I never expected to get it from a PG, family-friendly spider movie. But it genuinely terrified me, to my bones today. I was having hot sweats, my heart was palpitating, I was looking away from the screen. I'm going to give this a 4.5. I think it's a fantastic movie. It's very solid, and it hit all the right punches. There was just a few little bits here and there that I can't reward it top marks for, but there is no denying I really enjoyed my time with it. I know it sounds like I didn't, but it gave me everything that I needed from a horror film and delivered on what it should have done, along with solid writing, fantastic through narrative with great subplots and cast along to go with it. So yeah, top marks. Well, not quite top marks, but
nearest
as close as can be. Yeah.
Make sure you check out our story this week, because you'll see our leaderboard now, and you'll see where Arachnophobia falls with the scores from the You Run podcast. It's up there. We've only done 3 episodes, but it's up near the top. That is it for another week. We're back next week with another listener request. Be sure to make sure you leave us a review, share the show with your friends. Have a great week. That's more important than anything else. Have a great week. We know January sucks. We know it's hard. We know you have to wait ages for payday. It's coming. Have a great week. But until next time, bitch, that's cheating. I'm not even dead yet.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.